The Keto Cubby Show with you until 7 o'clock. Now, when I tell you about a solar-powered generation plant on the roof of an office park, you might go, yeah, that must be a design capital idea, which is probably 10 years off, 10 years down the line. We'd love to do that. Well, there is an office park in Observatory that's become the first to host such a facility containing 5,500 solar power modules, and they feed that electricity back into the grid. Now, this is sure to please many people who've called into the show asking how they could do the same thing. I'm joined by Chris Haw, co-founder of Sola Future and also spokesperson for the SA Photovoltaic Industry Association. Chris, good morning.
Morning, Kino, and good morning to your listeners.
Give us more details about this rooftop setup and how it works.
Kino, it's a groundbreaking installation in terms of its size, because it's one of the largest ones in Africa in its nature. So it's an integrated solar rooftop system, which is 1,200 kilowatts in size, and it spans across a number of different buildings, all feeding into the same office park. The energy is used mainly by the people in the buildings themselves, directly below where it's generated. And when there's an excess in power over the weekends or on public holidays, then some of that energy is pushed back onto the grid, and we've been able to receive the first approval from the city of Cape Town to actually legally do this, and we're hoping to conclude the final legal agreements with them to actually compensate us for that energy that's produced. So it's a great system, and we're very excited that this is the start of many such systems around Cape Town and South Africa.
Well, this is a wow, an absolute wow. Now, how much excess energy are you currently generating per month?
Not much. I mean, we try to match it as close as we can to the consumption on site. And in other words, the city's incentivizing us to use all of the energy on site rather than to push it back onto the grid. So it's only between about 5 or 10% that actually is pushed back at the moment, and that's fine. I mean, actually the best place to use the solar energy is directly where you generate it, because then you don't have any losses trying to transmit it over the grid lines.
Well, you know what, and the bottom line is to take the pressure off the national grid, and we have more people, more big businesses, more parks doing this. It'll make Eskom's job a lot easier. But the question is it worth the money spent?
It is now. The solar technology pricing has changed dramatically in the last 4 to 5 years, and the system pays itself off within about 5 to 7 years, and then it has a guaranteed lifespan of 25 years. So it really does make sense. We have seen a significant reduction in capital costs in solar, because people are using more energy, and there's been improvements in the technology. So we're able to now extract more solar energy for the same material, just like we do with computer chips.
Okay.
And that has pushed the pricing down. It's stabilized somewhat at the moment in South Africa because of the weaker rand, but in general, it really does make sense for most businesses.
Thank you very much, Chris Haw, co-founder of Solar Future and spokesperson for the SA Photovoltaic Industry Association at 7 o'clock.